You know, there's a great saying about the past. It's a foreign country. They do things differently there. And the 300 years between Handel's time and ours seems like a completely unbridgeable gulf, especially when we think about performance practice. What we see in the theater now is very different from what Handel's opera audiences would have seen in 1711 when this opera premiered. And I want to mention just a couple of things that I think are really interesting. The first is the theater-going experience was very different. Audiences weren't assigned a seat. They would go in, the lights were on, they had copies of the libretto, what were called word books, so they could read along. And they were much more interested in the kind of social aspect of going to the opera. Another thing that is very interesting is to look at what happened on stage. So attending an opera in London in 1711 is very different from attending an opera at the Newmark in 2013. The stage itself was very carefully codified, and what that meant was that the positions of the actors meant something. If a singer was positioned far upstage, and these were very rake stages, it meant that they occupied a higher social status in the story. Characters tended to move in very carefully prescribed directions. There was not a lot of direct interaction between characters. When an aria started, for instance, a character would come down stage and address the audience, not the other singers or performers on stage. So what we see now is a result of changes over the last 150 years in terms of acting style, theater-going experience. It's not that Handel's audiences had it any worse or what they saw was primitive, it's what they knew. And it's interesting to think about how those are different.